Chasky. As I say, good morning to you, Spinoni 11. The Warriors were leading points in the paint in the first half. In the first half, they were +7 in points in the paint. Points off turnovers. Points off turnovers, they were +7. 13-6. 13-6. Somehow, some way, they lost that category 27-16. I mean, this is unbelievable how they lost that game yesterday in the third quarter, getting outscored 37-20. And I'm deflated. I'm frustrated. It has more to do with the basketball game, of course, because we'll get into some other stuff that I just don't get. I just don't get what we're doing around these parts. But Warriors lose 123-117, and they're lighting the beam all night long in Sacramento.
So yesterday we were talking about in the 9 o'clock hour, like, hey, if the Warriors lose tomorrow, are you going to be angry? And some people were like, yeah, well, it depends on, what it looks like. And other people were resigned to, like, I'm not angry. I'm frustrated we're in this position and where we're at, but I've also come to accept we're not a very good team. The Kings are a better team than the Warriors right now. They just are. And yesterday, another double-digit lead at halftime, and you could just feel it. You just feel no Warrior fan had to feel safe at halftime. You were thinking, what is going to happen? And in the third quarter, as well as the whole game, really, you could just see the difference of defensive intensity, length, athleticism, juice, the ability to get to the rim over and over and over. I mean, clearly De'Aaron Fox is extremely athletic, but it's not just him. Like Malik Monk breaking guys off the dribble, not necessarily going in for layups every time, but just breaking down the defense to kick the ball around and see the ball hopping. Look, that's a frustrating loss. I'm not here to sugarcoat it. All right. To your point, we ain't giving out, orange slices and fruit snacks. This is not the AYSO soccer team, playing a 9U. All right. At South Sunset. There was some positives. I know it sounds crazy.
No, it doesn't sound crazy. There was some positives.
This is going to sound insane. There were some guys that I was like, okay, I'll start here. Guy Santos could play on my team. I don't know who he is. I don't know where he's going to play. I don't think he's some elite starter, but the guy has heart and he has game.
I like Guy.
I like him.
Look, the game's not.
Post can play.
The game's not too fast for Guy Santos. He can space the floor. He hustles. He plays his ass off. He talks that talk.
He can knock down a shot.
I told you, man, I got to know Guy Santos a little bit. I like the guy. I like the guy on and off the floor. He can play. I don't mind him getting minutes. The guy's he's got to learn how to, he's going to miss some shots. He's going to miss some assignments here and there, but the guy's playing his ass off
in the
game.
Not a problem.
And effort's not a problem. Confidence is not a problem. And the game doesn't seem too big for him. Quinten Post, you just mentioned. The second-round pick.
I got some
space in the floor, and a lot of people have been asking about Quinten Post. Well, having a stretch five, you can see the vision. You can see what he can do on the floor by bringing out the bigs here. And then defensively, he was an ACC all-defensive team member. He was second-team all-ACC at Boston College. He's 24 years old. He's from Amsterdam. He's Dutch. He had a chance to play overseas, but he decided to come over to America to play college basketball. So he starts off at Mississippi State, doesn't get a lot of playing time, transfers to Boston College. He's got some seasoning for being in college for so damn long. And you know what? He looked like he belonged yesterday. I was encouraged.
I was too. Look, and I sound so crazy right now, but I'm being real. I actually felt a little more optimistic. Now, look, the big overarching theme when it comes to the Warriors, and it's almost undeniable. Just what direction are we going in? That's what we want to know from the organization. And I know the next 2 weeks are going to tell us in terms of the deadline. I get that. Believe me, I get that. But God, I wanted it yesterday. I just pick a lane. When I watched Quinten Post yesterday, do I think he's a starter who's impact? No. But alongside Kuminga, when you pull the five out of the key, Kuminga will have lanes to operate. When you have a stretch like that, here's the other thing. They were blitzing Curry at the top of the key from almost the beginning of the game, double and triple teams with Curry. That made them late to get out of their sets. Curry almost couldn't relocate in time because actually Guy and Quinten Post were making really savvy passes at the elbow, and they were getting good looks from the three-point line, but you weren't getting the relocation shots from Steph Curry.
Well, what the Warriors were doing they were aggressive out of WP for the first time in a long time. So when Curry got blitzed, it got doubled, and he was swing, and you get to swing around. These guys were ready to shoot. Yes. They were ready to let it fly. So they were being aggressive out of the double team. But you know what really befuddled the Warriors and slowed them down in the third quarter again? They've got to figure out a way to navigate his own defense. They can't beat his own defense. The Sacramento Kings went zone for a big stretch in the third quarter, and the Warriors just didn't know what to do. They started turning the ball over, and that third quarter was the game. Because in the fourth quarter, sure, it was nip and tuck, and it was a game of runs. But you know what?
Who was the lineup
third quarter,
that
third quarter
frustrated you?
Well, it wasn't even just the lineup. It was the overall team that frustrated. The lineup combinations is what it is. People go crazy over that.
But I think part of beating a zone, I think this is important. Part of beating the zone is there's two ways. Elite passing and shooting, where you're skipping the ball back and forth and the defense has to rotate, or penetration and kickouts.
Yeah, but they weren't doing any of that.
That's my point.
And this is against Miami.
That's
this is against there's another who else ran his Toronto at times.
They don't have the personnel.
Well, it's not even just personnel. You can beat it with the personnel they have. They just, I don't know if they've ever, I'm sure they practice against the zone or whatnot, but for whatever reason, the zone befuddles them. They don't get 2 feet in the paint, and they stopped doing that in the third quarter. They stopped going to the paint when they were doing that in the first half, and they settled for the three-point shot in the third quarter, going 1 of 10 from 3 in the third quarter. They turned the ball over 8 times, and how many live ball turnovers did they have in that third quarter where the Kings didn't even have to, they didn't even, this is easy. We'll just get out on the break again. 28 at the fast break points. So in that third quarter, they give up 8 fast break points. They get outscored in the paint 22-14. And then another thing that was trending in the wrong direction at the end of the first half was that the Kings started getting to the free throw line. They're 11-12 at the half. Well, in the second half alone, they go 19-20. They're the second best free throw shooting team, second best or fourth best free throw shooting team in the league. They hit their free throws. And on the flip side, the Warriors don't get to the free throw line because they don't get 2 feet in the paint. They don't drive with aggressiveness, and with the zone, they just became hesitant. It was very frustrating.
Well, and I would also add to that Keon Ellis and Keegan Murray, they're elite defenders. Like, I thought Keegan did a great job using his, what's that?
Say Keon Ellis could play.
Yeah,
that's why Mike Brown got fired, because he wasn't playing Keon Ellis.
No, he absolutely can. But like their length and their tenaciousness out on the perimeter and their ability to move laterally was excellent yesterday. And I thought they did a great job as a team, rotating and sending over that second and third blitzer. And even though I thought the ball hopped much better than I anticipated for the most part for the Warriors. And I'm just telling you, like, the Kings are just a more athletic, faster, better team right now. And then your point about free throws. How many times did Malik Monk get the ball to the block on a drive penetration where either he pump fakes and either goes up or kicks out? How many times did De'Aaron Fox do that, whether it was in transition or in the half court? How many times did a variety of guys like, and this guy, DeRozan, get all the way to the lane, pump fake, guy leaves their feet, and now he's going to the free throw line. I'm watching Andrew Wiggins, and I thought Andrew had a good game yesterday. But Andrew, I look at someone like DeRozan and his ability to know that he needs to get to the midi and get to the mid-range.
That's his whole game. That's been his whole game, his entire career.
That's the guy. Jumper. If I'm Andrew Wiggins, I'd be looking at him as I'm starting to get older.
But Wiggins was good. Wiggins was good
yesterday.
He had, I think, a career high tie. He gave season high in 5 made threes last night.
He doesn't jump stop in the lane, so he does a lot of these runners.
At times he does. He does.
And DeRozan's whole game is, I'm jump stopping in the lane. I'm going to pump fake. You're going to leave your feet. I'm going to go to the free throw line. And it stops the momentum. It gives their defense a chance to set itself up. I mean,
well, he had 24 of his 32 in the second half. DeRozan, I thought, was awesome. Excellent in that second half, where he said, just give me the ball right on my back and let's roll. And he was 9-12 in the second half from the floor, 24 points in all. And you could see, okay, when De'Aaron Fox is not rolling, who is not rolling, I got another guy who could go out there and get a bucket. Malik Monk is so damn fast, and he's so damn good. I love his game. But Sabonis and DeMar DeRozan, where Sabonis is sprinting from inline to inline. He's... So I got to give Sabonis credit, man. This guy's flipped his body. Not necessarily flipped his body, but he doesn't look as stiff when I'm watching him. He's moving around very fluidly, and he's moving around, and I'm like, okay, let's go. I see you, Sabonis, and he's getting the ball. When he gets the ball to the post, he would have to see where he had the ball down by his knees, and he would take so long to rise up and get the ball up above the rim. Now when he's in the post, he's getting the ball and he's going right up with it. He's not waiting around for the defense to set. He's being very decisive in what he does. So right now, Sabonis is balling. Doug Kersey has these guys, but when you mention the Kings are just more athletic than them,
they are.
We could say that about every single team in the league right now. The Miami Heat are more athletic than the Warriors. The Toronto Raptors are more athletic than the Warriors. Tonight, when Chicago comes in town, and I'm not sure if Kobe White's going to play, but you know what? If they have Kobe White and Zach LaVine in the backcourt, guess what? That's a lot of athleticism. The Warriors, every single night, with the way their roster is constructed right now, with the old guys,
I know,
with the youngsters, and Kuminga not being here, every single night. They got OKC coming up. They have the Lakers coming up. You got Phoenix coming up. Utah, hell, they got some athleticism on that team. The Warriors are at a disadvantage athletically on most nights, but you can still win games, but you can't make it easy for the other team when you turn the damn ball over.
But it's not. Look, the turnovers were horrible.
Oh,
19
unforced turnovers, 19 turnovers. You had 12. You had 7 at the half.
But I think what's worse than the turnovers, because the turnovers are bad.
No,
What's worse is the rebounds where a guy catches it at the free throw line on one end and just dribbles past 6 or 7 guys.
Yeah, I'm looking at the ball control. I'm looking at the turnovers here.
Flew by 5 different guys multiple times.
No, I hear that.
on just rebounds. It's all of that. It's the transition game. That's where the athleticism.
But last night though, when you have the live ball turnovers, you're turning it over at the 3-point line, and they're going into 3-on-1 situation all night long.
I thought the Kings' on-ball defense was tenacious.
28-0 when it comes to fast break points. And that's based off the live ball turnovers you're having when you're 35 feet away from the hoop. They're just throwing it right to guys. So they didn't keep their composure. They get outscored in the second half, by the way, 75-52. 75-52. So to me, when we had that conversation yesterday about fans, I'm resigned to it. We've already won the championships. I'm not cut from that cloth, man. There's a lot of season left. There's a chance of getting to this damn box. There's a chance of getting to the top 6. But you're blowing it by having these unforced turnovers. The Warriors are beating themselves with this as they match their largest blown lead of the season. They did it against Brooklyn when Schroeder was there. And by the way, Dennis Schroeder, I'm not here to rip him. But have you seen enough in terms of he's a good player? He really is. He's been on 8 different teams. And I get to Mike Dunleavy. It was a shrewd move to get somebody in place of DeAnthony Melton, another ball handler, a guy who could play point of attack defense. But last night was probably his low point with the Golden State Warriors. It's just not. It doesn't look like a good fit.
No.
I mean, I'm sorry.
There was the play where it was Steve Kerr lost his mind on the kick ball, where they went, and he just stopped running. And I'm like, what? I don't want to pick on him because I do like him. I do like him. But boy, it hasn't worked at all. There's no one. But getting back to your thing,
it's been 18 games.
I'm super frustrated, right? I'm super frustrated for a variety of things, but angry. I'm not angry. I'm more disappointed that I've come to accept this is where they're at.
Nah, I'm not accepting that. It's the same thing with the Giants. It's the same thing when I said.
But they are.
When I said what I said.
Is what they are.
But when I said what I said about the Giants a couple years ago, when I said I'm not spending a dime on them because I can't accept being mediocre. I can't accept saying, you know what, our season's over in May. It is what it is. Let's go see some prospects.
But 2 of the top 4
players. I can't roll like that.
But 2 of their top 4 players aren't playing.
I hear that.
I mean, they're playing a guy who's played 4 games this year.
No, I feel you on that. But you control what you control. And you can control turnovers. You can control not reaching. You can control not settling for bad 3-point shots. You can control all those things. And if you just go into the fourth quarter with, say, a 9-point lead, the fact is, that is a 17-point lead at the half. It is pretty hard to blow a 17-point lead in 1 quarter. Well, 1 quarter of ball. But that is hard. So I'm sorry. As long as I got Stephen Curry, and by the way, I'm never trading Stephen Curry. I don't know what the hell has been going on around the station where people are talking about trading Stephen Curry. I hear hosts talk about, are you a damn dummy? No, you don't trade this guy. Did you see the open shots he's creating for other people? He had a double-double yesterday. Come on. Get this guy a little bit of help here. So the deadline's going to be fascinating to see it. The Warriors are working. And I think they're trying to figure out what direction do we go in. But damn, I'm sorry. Losing that game, especially against Sacramento. That's the other thing. It's the Sacramento Kings who have been our little brother for so long. Now, guess what? They're laughing, lighting beams, saying, we beat you 5 straight times, Warrior fans.
They're a better team.
I'm not resigning to that, man. I'm not resigning to that. They had a 17-point lead. I'm going to feel the way I feel. I'm not resigning to the fact that you have a 17-point lead. You're playing the right way. They make over 23s. They drop over 30 assists. And yet the unforced turnovers and the fouling has got to stop. So I'm going to be frustrated about a tough loss like that. I'm going to be frustrated.
But I'm watching the first half, and the Warriors were playing good. I thought they were playing inspired basketball. Half. No one's guarding GP2, ever. So it's basically 4-on-5 defense at all times, right? They're never going to guard him. They're just not. And I like the guy. I do. I like the guy. But if you just watch how they're defending Steph Curry, there are 5 sets of eyeballs staring at him the entire time. And basically, I mean, the book is out. Hey, look, buddy, we dare you to go for 25 tonight. Hey, GP2, we dare you to hit a couple of threes. Wiggins, you can get all the points you want. It's not going to matter. We are not letting 30 beat us.
Smart.
It is smart.
And teams should be doing this.
And look, this goes back to the eyeballs, analytics. Bonte, you've been on this. I just did a little dive, and the numbers would tell you, just the numbers would say, Buddy and Clay are having comparable seasons, right? Just watch the games. This is why you got to watch the games. They don't honor Buddy the way they honored Clay. Just they don't. They just have to watch the games. The way teams sag off of Buddy, the way they defended Clay, the way they have to honor him, the way that the teams have to rotate because they are afraid that he's going to actually do something. Teams are looking, and I'm not trying to rip Buddy, but they're looking at him. They're like, yeah, we dare you to go off.
Well, you know what's funny?
So the numbers might look the same, but the eyeball tells you a totally different story.
And it's a different situation in Dallas with Luka, Kyrie,
no doubt.
The style of play
but
they
I'm just
have.
saying, like the eyeballs.
No doubt. They play at a slower pace down in Dallas. They're a half-court team more so. They don't get out and run where the Warriors want to get up and down, up and down, up and down. But I mean, good Lord, man. Buddy, here's the funny part. When Buddy scores 18 plus, the Warriors are 10-0. He was stuck on that 17. And he actually had a decent game, man. I thought it was encouraging, and hopefully it's a step in the right direction for him.
Before the end of the quarter was awesome.
But you know what else is adding to the frustration? And I'll bring it up on the other side.